Welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on, you guessed it, folks, your favorite radio station. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Von Radio.
And folks, right now it's time for liftoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
2.
I've got this one. 1.
0.
All right.
Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes.
Here we go, folks. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Von Radio. It's the show with no name. Let's go. Welcome aboard. It's the show with no name, exclusively on Von Radio. It's one of a kind. You say extraordinario, one of a kind. We also say extraordinary, but since that's harder to pronounce, we say one of a kind. And you guys, our listeners, our show with no namers, you folks are one of a kind. Let's kick off with a little recognition. Un poco de aplauso. Recognition, reconocimiento. You guys have been doing a wonderful job here on the show with no name, also on No Excuses with Fitz. I know you guys have been tuning into Ximena's program, which is Test Your English. It's right after this program, and you can get it on the Von Radio app. I think that's the easiest way to follow along. Von Radio, download our app. Also, remember, if you're looking for materials, that's vontienda.com. And if you're looking for more information about courses and all that jazz, y todo eso, go to our website, grupovon.com. grupovon.com, or if you're more traditional, you can give us a call. The phone number is 911-385831. And welcome, my amigos. When I say amigos, I mean all-inclusive. Obviously, I mean amigos and amigas. Thank you guys for bringing the magic day in, day out, día tras día. We've got a lot of challenges lined up por venir, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's kick off with our first challenge, our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Pop quiz. Hands up. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. And That's right, folks. That's right. If you love challenges, if you love trivia, if you love quizzes, well, then join us. That's right, folks. It is Wednesday, this Wednesday, March 1st. Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights. This month's is hosted by Guy Williams, the host of Western Civilization. You'll learn, you'll laugh, you'll hang out with your fellow students and your teachers. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. It's at Roll Madrid, March 1st, 8:30 p.m. But get there at 8. Hey, I'm going to get there at 8. I hope to see you guys there for our free trivia nights that happen usually it's the first Wednesday of the month. Sometimes we make exceptions when there's a holiday or something like that. But this month, folks, it's going to be tons of fun. I've already confirmed that I'll be going. A lot of my classmates, a lot of my students, a lot of my workmates. I don't like that, workmates. My friends, they're my friends. And the one that sounds to me, I know you guys use it a lot, colleagues, man, to me, that sounds extremely formal. I don't use the word colleagues. It sounds like I'm a scientist and we're doing like molecular research or something like that. All right, let's take a look at today's pop quiz. Today's pop quiz is about the verb to be. And this is probably, if not the most used verb in any language. Ser o estar is what it is in Spanish. But you'll be surprised at how many students make mistakes with these in the past tense or in the third column, which is the been. So let's take a look at them first, okay? So I am, you are. I mean, this is our verb too. It's the most used one and the one that changes the most irregular of them. So I am, you are, they are, it, he, she is, right? And the rest of them are. They are, you tú, or you vosotros is are as well. In the past tense, it's was and were. It gets a little bit easier, but you'll be surprised how many times I've heard students say, you was, or I were. I guess I were works if it's a conditional, but I've heard a lot of really simple mistakes in this structure. And I'm talking about mistakes from, high-level students who are saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Te sueltan cada una. They're over there with all these really native expressions. But then I realized, if we don't master was, were, have been, has been, I am, you are, this basic verb, we're not going anywhere. We're putting the cart before the horse. Oh, and if you guys want to learn these little tidbits, estos trocitos, estas píldoras, as you call them, you can follow me on social media. I post a video a day. Plus, I have a podcast, which that comes out every Friday. It's called For Your Inglés. And don't forget, you got a million programs here on Vaughn Radio. And all that stuff, folks, is free. So this is from Vaughn's post. Let's do a couple just to warm up. Para ir calentando motores. All right. You guys don't have to write these because if not, we'll have too many comments. You know what I mean? And remember, I love hearing from you guys, but if we get too many comments, old Alberto, tu amiguito, Alberto, old Alberto, aquí old no es viejo. Old Alberto gets mixed up. So let's start out. I prefer that you do these aloud, and then I'll give you the challenge. Okay, but let's warm up. Vamos a calentar. It's so important in the learning process. Simple one. Estuve con ellos anoche. Now, not only do I want you to think about, did you know it or not, but did you really have to rack your brain? to rack your brain, exprimir los sesos, desmanar, something like this. Esa la vimos en mis redes sociales. We saw it the other day. So estuve con ellos anoche. I was with them last night. Y lo que me importa más, no tanto como lo escribes, pero como lo dices. I was, no es was, right? I was with them. With them se junta en uno, como ves. I was with them last night. Last night se junta en uno también. I was with them last night. How would you turn that into a question? ¿Estabas con ellos anoche? Because you should do that. When you have a translation list, play with it. See if you really get it. Because one thing is doing the translations. But here, Vaughn has given us 20 translations. I'm going to tell you that you can get 4 out of each one. So 4 times, that's 80 translations in one post. Follow Vaughn. Follow Vaughn. So I was with them last night. The question is, were you with them last night? Were you with them last night? The next one. Ella estaba, excuse me. Ella estaba en Lisboa la semana pasada. She was in, and again, I want you to pronounce these aloud. That's the important part too, so that it feels comfortable. She was in Lisbon. Zzz, mucho zzz. Hay que hacer este sonido. She was in Lisbon last week. Error muy común. The last week. Last week. La semana pasada. Next week. La semana siguiente. O sea, ninguno con the. So she was in Lisbon last week. Question, was she? Was she? Fíjate, eso es una sola. Was she in Lisbon last week? Was she? She was. Was she? Sí, lo juntamos. Okay. Estábamos muy cansados. We're warming up here. I want you to do these aloud. Okay, casi te lo doy. I prefer if you guys think it over quickly. Estábamos muy cansados. We were very tired. We were very tired. Question, were we very tired? Were we? ¿Sí? Hay que dominar estas estructuras, son básicas. All right, another one. Estaban debajo de la mesa. They were under the table. Question, were they under the table? Were they under the table? All right. Are you guys warmed up? You can get this post if you follow Vaughn. I've got the link over here. Here it is, your pop quiz. Estuve en la costa el verano pasado. ¿Dónde estabas tú? Estuve en la costa el verano pasado. ¿Dónde estabas tú? Remember, we've got to master this verb. So we didn't finish. We said, so was and were is the past tense, depending on which person. And the third column is been or been. ¿Cómo se pronuncia? Bin, como basura, bin, B-I-N, recipiente. Or bean, like Abba. Interesting. Both. Yeah. I say been. Where have you been? ¿Dónde has estado? ¿Dónde estuve? Where have you been? I've been there. Estado. Yo digo been. Pero he oído británicos, English people, and we know our British friends, don't we? And they say, where have you been? So that's one of them. If we ever do that one on homophones, remember, that's one of those that, yeah, it depends. Depends who's saying it. All right, let's go on over to our chat room and see what we've got going on. First person in the group to check in with us is Born to Iron Man. What's up, buddy? And he says, morning, friends. A biker in the house. And that's interesting because a biker can be someone who rides a bike or someone who rides a motorcycle. Interesting. I know which one it is. And, well, I know Born to Iron Man is excited. In fact, a lot of people are excited about this episode. I'm going to be doing an upcoming episode of FYI on bikes, bicicletas, bicis, ciclismo. And I'm getting a lot of audio notes from my students, and it's going to be a really special episode. So I'm glad you guys are excited. Born to Iron Man, thank you so much. I've gotten so many ideas. Born to Iron Man helped me come up with some of the content, some ideas. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Born to Iron Man. Always going above and beyond, siempre dando más de lo que se espera de él. Always going above and beyond. Thank you. Kubla says, good morning, appealing cohorts, and a good day to you, fine sir. I'm just going to talk to you the way you talk to me. Wait, I have to do the bow, la reverencia. What's up, Kubla? Mr. Formal. Born to Iron Man says, 2 beers or not 2 beers? Was really that the question? Was that really the question? To beer or not to beer? Born to Iron Man. It's early, but okay. There you go. You can have one. You deserve it. You're an early riser. You're an early bird. You get up at the crack of dawn. Go ahead. You've been riding all morning. All right, let's see. Kubla taking a stab at our pop quiz. Estuve en la costa el verano pasado. ¿Dónde estabas tú? I was on the coast last summer. Where were you? Nice job. Awesome job, Kubla. And I was worried about those prepositions, not in the coast. And we normally wouldn't say at the coast. So great job. You had, 33.3% chance of getting that wrong. And you got it right. So I was on the coast last summer. Where were you? Where were you? No sé por qué. I don't know why, but this one is tough for my students. Practícalo. Vamos a decirlo. Voy a bajar. Let me lower the beat a little bit. Where were you? 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 ¿Dónde estabas? I know. It's a tough one. I've had students stumble on that one many, many times. So great job. Let's see. Chris Valrol in the house. What's up, Chris? She says, good morning. Have a great week. My train is leaving in a while. Madrid, here we go. Oh, awesome, Chris. All aboard. Awesome, Chris. We'll see you really, really soon. Kubla says, desvanarse los sesos is to rack your brains. That's right. That's right. Well, guys, I shared that the other day on social media. That's what it does to your brain. Social media, man, it rots your brain. Te pudre la cabeza. But if you follow the right people, such as Vaughn and myself, and obviously my buddies at Vaughn Radio, look at this. I'll show you here on my phone. Look at all these videos here. You've got literally, hundreds of videos, one a day, and they've got little English lessons. Sometimes they're 30 seconds. Sometimes they're a minute or so. And thank you to you guys. I know, believe me, I know who shares my posts. And thank you. You know who you are. I know who you are. I know it's tough. I know it's tough to hit that share button, to hit that retweet over there. But some of you, it just seems effortless. And I really, really appreciate that. Lo agradezco. Also, guys, I got to tell you, I've been getting so many messages. And I mean voice messages, and I mean written messages. Now, I've been getting a lot of them for the show with no name. And then, as I just mentioned, there'll be an episode in a few weeks about bikes. And I've gotten a lot of them about bikes, too. The one about bikes, though, I've only opened that one, the participation on that one, to my subscription students, just because if not, I have too many people participating. So if you're one of those, please feel free to participate in that as well. Just, you got to tell me why you love bikes or why you love riding your bike, or share a special memory, whatever. Be creative. That one is open only, as I said, to subscription students. Many of you are, but just wanted to let you know. But if you want to participate here on the show with no name, if you want to have a voice, you can. But you have to pronounce it perfectly. You can't say voice. Do you want to have a voice? What? A voice. Do you want to have a voice here on the show? Well, all you have to do is send us a message. I say keep it at around a minute. Nobody wants to hear you go on and on and on and on. So about a minute or so, share something, and always start. No matter how many times you've participated, I want you guys to start by introducing yourself, because that's something that you should be able to do. And I want to send a nice round of applause to everybody who has participated already. Great job, seriously. And if, yesterday we got a few people saying, listen, I'm nervous. I don't like the way I sound. You guys sound great. I don't sound that good. Don't compare yourself to anybody else ever, right? So if you want to participate, doesn't matter what your level is, you can send me a 1-minute voice message, just sharing something, and you can do it on your phone. It's never been easier. I can post-produce it. I usually do. I usually put a compressor and I bring the volume up so that everything's kind of the same volume. And we've got a message today. As I said, we've got several messages lined up. So today we're going to hear from, lined up. Fijaos en la D va con el up, right? Por venir, programados, lined up. We're going to hear one a day because I don't want to overdo it. No quiero pasarme. I don't want to overdo it. But today we're going to hear from Nuria. So I'm excited to hear from Nuria. We'll also hear from some friends from my childhood. My childhood is mi juventud. We also got a written message, an email from Luigi, which I think we're going to listen to that tomorrow, Luigi. So be patient, but I don't want to overdo it. I think one a day is fine. Again, we'll hear from Nuria in just a little bit. Tomorrow we'll hear from these are your fellow students, tus compañeros, Luigi, and also Agustin sent us a message as well. So I've been getting flooded with messages, inundado, as we say, flooded with messages from you guys. If you want to participate, it's really simple. All you have to do is record a 1-minute voice note. Don't do it in your bathroom because there's an echo, or as we call it, reverb, right? Se nota quien edita audio because you call it reverb instead of an echo. So do it in a place, if you've got carpet, cuidado con este false friend, carpet es carpeta. Carpet es moqueta, and carpeta es folder. I had to think about that one. I know it, but I'm like, ¿en qué idioma estoy hablando? Yes, folks. People ask me that question a lot. They say, do you get mixed up since you're speaking a few different languages? Well, a couple, not a few. A few is tres. And yes, I get mixed up all the time, but it's okay. I don't mind. I would rather get mixed up than just speak one language, right? I think it happens to everybody who's got a lot of things going on in their mind. So if you want to send us a 1-minute message introducing yourself and sharing something, you can send it to alonso@grupovon.com. alonso@grupovon.com. Folks, we've got to go to our first commercial break. When we come back, we've got Say What, we've got our spelling bee, we've got homophones, we're going to hear from Nudia, and so much more. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio, where we learn English, we laugh, we make friends. Oh, and by the way, I just shared the link of the exercises we were doing, el pasado del verbo to be. So if you guys want to check it out, it's in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube. Remember to follow Vaughn, follow me on social media, and this way you never miss out. Let's do a few more with was and were. Fue mi profesor de historia. Él fue mi profesor de historia. He was my history teacher. We say professor. Professor is the one we use if they're in a university setting. If not, we just say teacher. Ella estaba justo a tu lado. She was right next to you. Estuviste ahí para mí. You were there for me. This is a great one. Hey guys, when I got hit by a car, remember that? Oh, that was horrible. I remember I got hit by a car and you guys were there for me. All right, well, it's time for today's Say What? Say what? What? It's the Say What soundbite. Say what? What? What did he say? Come again? I'm sorry. I didn't catch that. It went over my head. Come again? It's a Say What soundbite. It's the Say What soundbite. That's right, amigos. I wonder what accent we're gonna hear today on our Say What soundbite. Who knows? Who knows? But as always, I want you guys to listen carefully. And I want you to take notes. Eventually, I want you to write down word for word what you heard. But at first, just give me what you heard. A summary, 2 sentences is fine. With a summary of what you heard. I want you to say a lot with a little, right? That's the whole goal in life. I once heard somebody say, pretend words cost money, right? Then we would be a lot more careful how we used words, right? So I want you to really think about that. All right, you're going to hear a couple sentences. I want you to sum them up in your best English. And as always, you'll hear it 4 times. At the end of the show, we will reveal who it is, what's being said, and all that jazz. Now, this is a voice today that I think most Americans would know. Most, I would say, maybe not this generation, but most Americans from my generation, Generation X, to the boomers, so, you know, my parents, that generation. Because some people, they have, I don't know, voices that you can recognize in an instant. And this person got famous kind of for his voice. Okay, he's a comedian. I'm giving you a lot of information. But he got famous for his voice. You know, it was just so one of a kind, so unique, as we said before. It reminds me a little bit of, what's his name? Zed from Police Academy. Remember, he got famous, this comedian, Bobcat Goldthwait, for putting on this crazy voice. And this guy, he reminds me, he's in that category. So what I want everybody to do right now is to grab a pen, grab a notebook, and write down what you hear.
Wait a second, I've got an idea. Is there something that I have in this office that I could hand to you and that would make you kind of forget that you're holding those little pink tickets there?
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. That is your Say What soundbite for the first time. You're going to hear it again in just a moment, but I'm just going to give you a minute to let that sink in, dejar que entre en tu cabeza, asimilarlo, right? To let it sink in, or soak también, like empapar, like a sponge, okay? And whenever you're ready, I imagine you'll be ready in 3, 2, 1. Let's hear it a second time.
Wait a second, I've got an idea. Is there something that I have in this office that I could hand to you and that would make you kind of forget that you're holding those little pink tickets there?
All right. Definitely a voice that many people would recognize. I'm curious, too. Today, I don't just want you to tell me he's from the United States. I think that part's obvious. What part of the United States is this person from, if you had to say so? So while you're mulling that over, dándole unas vueltas, let's kick off our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
That's right. That's right, amigos. It's the spelling bee only on the show with no name. And we are going to look at today some number. No. Oh, yep, folks. Yep. I was for a second. I said, no, we don't have numbers today. Yes, we do. So today's spelling bee is not for the faint of heart. Do you know this expression? No apto para cardíacos. It's interesting because the word faint, a secas, is desmayarse, to faint, or to pass out is another way to say it as well. So today's spelling bee, I'm really going to need you guys to focus because with numbers, you know how it works. It always ups the ante. Siempre sube el listón. There's my dad. What's up, Dad? He says, good morning, Alberto, family and friends. Greetings from snowy Greenwood Lake, New York. Awesome. I've got to say, I love snow. I don't love it on the streets, 5 days after it snowed because it turns black and yucky and it gets dirty. But a fresh snowfall, that's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, Dad, share some pictures. I don't know if you can do that here in this chat. As I said, it's like when you guys have tech problems, I'm like, you're asking the wrong guy. I can barely figure out my own tech issues over here when my computer is on the fritz. And when something is on the fritz, está fallando, algo falla. It's on the fritz. No, not on the fitz, on the fritz. And by the way, Fitz will be on FYI soon too. So you got a double whammy, un doble pa pa. You got we kick off season 5 with an interview with Richard Vaughn, and the second episode, which comes out on St. Patrick's Day, is with my buddy Fitz. And you can guarantee we recorded it at like 8 p.m. a las 8 de la tarde. So we cracked open a beer and we recorded an episode, and Fitz, I loved it. I think I'm very proud of the episode as a producer, as the creator, but also with my guest. In both cases, Richard Vaughn and Fitz. So some really exciting episodes of For Your Ingles coming up, where we'll hear from not only Richard Vaughn and Fitz, but in the bike episode, we'll be hearing from some of your fellow classmates as well. And speaking of, I almost forgot about our message. Let's see what your fellow student, Nuria, has to say. Let's see. Nuria, here you are.
Hi, thanks for calling the show with no name. I can't get to the phone right now, so please leave a message after the tone.
Hi Alberto, this is Nuria and I'm thrilled to take advantage of this opportunity and put in my 2 cents here. I like to start off by saying that I do not have the gift of gab when it comes to speaking English. Nevertheless, I'll try to do my best. Firstly, Bond's thing popped up all of a sudden one day, many months ago, and since then here I am, completely hooked on the one and only Alberto Alonso, with his books, his program, The Show with No Name, his mind-blowing self-production, FYI, and so on and so forth. Well, teacher, do you know what makes the difference? The reason behind this is because you put your heart, soul into your work, and that's require passion. Having passion means giving out positive vibes. You inspire and encourage your students to do the same, and that's the meaningful point. Hats off to you, my teacher. Thanks and thanks from the bottom of my heart.
All right, Nuria, you sounded amazing, Nuria. Thank you, Nuria, one of your classmates who sent us a message. Wonderful to hear from you. Tomorrow we'll be hearing we'll be hearing from some other classmates of yours. Let's take a look at some of the vocabulary that Nuria brought up in her message. She said, I'm thrilled. She didn't say I'm happy. I'm happy, lo sabe todo el mundo. Because I'm happy, come along if you. Everybody knows that one. Es de cajón. So you can say, I'm thrilled. I'm glad y suenas más nativo. So excellent job there. She said, I'm going to put in my 2 cents. Just be careful, Nuria. It's to put in my 2 cents. And believe me, you're not the first person to make this mistake, Nuria. So don't worry at all. She said something about having the gift of gab, el don de la palabra, el pico de oro, to have the gift of gab. Excellent vocabulary. She said, nevertheless, you can say nonetheless or nevertheless. She said one day Vaughn popped up on the radio. So apareció. Great vocabulary. I can't read what I wrote here. Oh, just a little pronunciation thing. You said, I'm hooked on. So it's hooked on. La T lo ponemos con, como es esa E de suena a T, we say, I'm hooked on. So just be careful. It's a common mistake. Let's all practice it together because it's not just Nuria's mistake. I'm hooked on, hooked on. So piensa la T va con el on. Hooked on, hooked on. I'm hooked on the programs. Here, I just can't read what I wrote. O como decimos, I can't make out what it says. No puedo descifrar, averiguar. She also said, instead of saying etc., she said, and so on and so forth. Que también yo creo que eso es un... And so on and so forth. And anything else? Oh, she said you put your heart and soul into what you do. Lo haces con pasión. So excellent job again, Nuria. If you guys want to send a message, you can send a 1-minute voice message like Nuria and so many others have done. You can send it to my email. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. If you're shy, if you're bashful, if you're timid, son 3 formas de decir tímido. I think timid es el más fácil para vosotros, ¿no? Don't worry, you can write. As I said, tomorrow we're going to be hearing from a student who wrote to us. And because some people express themselves better when they write. That's fine. I don't mind reading it, but I prefer if you do it. Again, I'm easy. I'd love to hear from you guys because one thing that you always do is you encourage each other, right? Os alentáis uno al otro. So tomorrow we'll hear from Luigi. We're going to hear from Agustin later this week as well. And I look forward to hearing from all of you. Speaking of, let's take a look at our Say What. I played it for you twice. Let's see. Kubla says, it sounded like an American male attempting to bribe somebody, so the latter turns a blind eye to some show tickets. Okay, you are on the right track. Okay. American male, it's okay. As I said, that part's kind of obvious, I think, today. I was more interested in where from, but that's okay, Kubla. That's good. It sounded like an American male attempting to bribe, and to bribe in Spanish is sobornar, to bribe somebody so the latter, el otro, el segundo, turns a blind eye. And to turn a blind eye is, how do you say it? Hacer la vista gorda. In fact, to some show tickets, unas entradas. The last part, the word is tickets, but it's not show tickets. Remember, in English, well, in Spanish, boletos, billetes, entradas. So, but good, great ear, Kubla. Wonderful job. Let's see. He also says, congrats, Nuria. That was so mesmerizing. Keep up the good work. Absolutely. Born to Iron Man seconds the motion. And he says, full of idioms and finishing with a sentence which reminds me of Esteban Maravilla, as our friend Kubla would say. Great job. Esteban Maravilla, Stevie Wonder. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, folks, it's time for our spelling bee. If nobody else is going to participate in the Say What soundbite, I thought it was pretty easy. I guess I'm wrong here today. All right, here we go with our spelling bee. This is round 1. All right, Again, these are places, these are cities, and well, two of them are towns. So they're places. They will be capitalized, and I'm going to give you the population with each one. So make sure you're clear so I know, okay, this is the population of this one, right? Separated accordingly. Are you ready? This is for you people who really love those thrills. You're what we call adrenaline junkies, junkies de la adrenalina, adictos a la adrenalina. Here's our lightning round. The first place is GLASGOW, and the population there is 632,350. The second place is EDINBURGH, and the population there is 506,520. The next one is ABERDEEN, and the population there is 198,590. The fourth one is DUNDEE, and the population there is 148,210. The fifth one, PAISLEY, and the population there is 77,270. And the last one is EAST space KILBRIDE, and the population there is 75,310. Now, let me take a deep breath here because that was fast. Oh, man. If you got that, you are definitely playing in the big leagues. As we said, yesterday we looked at Bayern Munich players, but today we're looking at cities and their populations. Let me give you guys a minute or two. In fact, let me take a sip of my water while you guys are trying to figure that out. All right. Clear my throat, take a sip of water. Again, I can't go any faster. As you can see, I didn't stop to take a breath. No paré para respirar. You can say to breathe or to take a breath, but we don't say to take a breathe. You can say to take a breather, pero eso es un descanso. No es take a breather, okay? Si no sería breathe or take a breath. Si estás diciendo respira. All right, going once, going twice. Anybody get it on the first go? Wow, guys, this is tough. Born to Iron Man, I see your last one. I don't see any other ones, though. What's going on there? Maybe you've been banned by YouTube. Are you spreading misinformation? Okay. No, I'm joking. That's weird, Born to Iron Man, because I see your last one, but I don't see any of the other ones. And the last one is right. You got a little asterisk next to it, but I don't see the population either. Wow. Okay, well, maybe there's an issue here. All right, going once, going twice. And please don't ask me what happened. I don't know. If you did send it and it didn't come through, I don't know YouTube. I don't know their algorithm. This is the algorithm of the night. Anybody? Born to Iron Man. I feel like you might have gotten it, but I'm not seeing it there. All right. This is round two. The first place is GLASGOW. The population in this place is 632,350. The second one is EDINBURGH. And the population there is 506,520. The third one is ABERDEEN. And the population there is 198,590. Okay, this is as fair as I can get here. The fourth one is D-U-N-D-E-E. And the population there is 148,210. The fifth one, P-A-I-S-L-E-Y. And the population there is 77,270. And the last one is E-A-S-T space K-I-L-B-R-I-D-E. And the population there is 75,310. And let me give you guys a little clue. There's a little clue for you. What are those? What is that sound? What is that instrument? Well, I'm no expert, but it sounds like bagpipes. ¿Qué? ¿Tubos o tubería de bolsa? O piénsalo, ¿qué son gaitas? ¿Es una bolsa con tubo? Ah, bagpipes. Bagpipes, maybe you have a kilt. A kilt is the traditional skirt-like thing that our friends wear. Our friends, the Scots, very famous. Many Scots. Remember our buddy Tommy Hay? He's Scottish. Well, the reason I chose Scottish cities and their population, I chose the top 6, is because today, in 1638, the Scottish National Covenant is signed in Edinburgh. What? You heard me. Edinburgh. Well, you could have fooled me. I've been calling it Edinburgh my whole life. Edinburgh. Until somebody from Scotland kindly corrected me and said, no, mate, it's Edinburgh. Edinburgh. All right, well, folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. That's right, folks. A very quick commercial break because we've got so much to do in the second half of today's show. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. That's right, amigos. That's right. It's the show with no name. And don't forget, this program is followed by Ximena Holidays program, Test Your English. Test Your English. Not just a program, but also one of our materials you can pick up at the Vaughn Tienda. And don't forget, folks, it's official now. We've got the book fair dates. Mark your calendars. The Madrid Book Fair is kicking off May 26th, and it's going to go until June 11th. May 26th to June 11th, you can join Vaughn at the book fair. I can guarantee all of us are going to be there with bells on, con muchísimas ganas. Also remember another upcoming event, Wednesday, March 1st. That's this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. You've got Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, hosted by Guy Williams. If you want to be in the know, enterado. If you want to be in the know, real simple, all you have to do is follow us on social media. Follow Grupo Vaughn, follow my amigos, and follow me. All right, folks, time for some more challenges. It's time for homophones.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no homophone. Show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, I'm going to give you two words, and I want you guys to tell me A, what the words are, and B, if they sound the same. And then what we'll do is we'll explore the words a little bit more and see if they have other meanings aside from the one you may or may not know. That's one of the good things about this section, too. You may know one of the words, but you may not have known one of the other meanings of the word. So we explore the words in depth. The first word is a very similar word in Spanish. I'm thinking of a synonym in English, something that is very thick. Okay, grueso, espeso, opaco. Also, if we use it to talk about a person, lerdo, estúpido, burro. Okay, so we're talking about the forest, un bosque. Well, there we're talking about denso, espeso, right? Material, right? Hay mucho que estudiar en este curso, okay? And if we say a person is this, then we're saying that they're not very smart, okay? And the second word is bailar, baile, okay? Bailar o baile. And it's a word I know you guys know. The first one I think is easy enough. The second one I know you know. And now I want to know if you know both of them and if you know how to pronounce them correctly as well. And what we're going to do right now, folks, is take a look at our Say What soundbite. This is the third listen. Please write down what you hear.
Wait a second, I've got an idea. Is there something that I have in this office that I could hand to you and that would make you kind of forget that you're holding those little pink tickets there?
All right, folks. All right. There's also some background noise. It sounds like they're in an office. but it sounds like it's an office in a big city because then we can hear some beeping and things like that going on. All right, let's take a look over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. After the third go, he nailed it. The Say What soundbite. It's Kubla. Nice. It looks right. Looks right to me. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. All right, let's take a look then at our homophones. I'm going to go over here and Kubla. Kubla, you are on it today, man. Let's see. Kubla. Well, let's see. Let's see if it's right. Kubla says it's and they don't sound the same. So the word espeso, denso might be another way to say it. And bailar, Kubla says they don't sound the same. Born to Iron Man seconds the motion. He agrees with his classmate. All right, we can make this real easy. Does anybody disagree? I mean, when these guys don't agree, I get worried because I'm like, uh-oh, which one do I trust? Not usually. I always know the answer when I'm asking a question. Well, not always, because maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I hate to say always and never. I hate those words. Always, never. And especially in English, the language of exceptions, if you will. All right, so let's say both of these words. Two of my super show with no namers are telling me these words don't sound the same. All right, the first word is dense. Dense. Okay, the forest is very dense. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it through. Dense. Say it with me because I think that's the most important part of this section, that you're able to reproduce these sounds, whether they're the same or different. Dense. The forest was very dense, right? We couldn't see the city because the fog, la niebla, was dense. There was a dense fog, dense. It's interesting because it sounds almost like a T, dense. It's dense. Interesting there. Maybe we're onto something. Quizá tenemos algo aquí entre manos. And then somebody who is lerdo, estúpido, not very smart, not very bright, we say this guy is dense. He doesn't get it. Like somebody who's not getting it. Man, are you dense? Or do you like to dance? Are you dense? Or do you like to dance? They are not homophones. Congrats, Kubla and Born to Iron Man. Great job. Great job. But it's funny because I've heard people here in Spain say, me gusta la música dense. Dense. And I'm like, dense? Like denso? That's weird, right? It's dance. Like Annie. It's the hard knock life for us. Dance with me. I want to dance. You can hear it in the song. But I've heard people say, mi género favorito es dense. I'm like, you're a little bit dense. Now, remember before we said we were on to something, que teníamos algo entre manos aquí? Well, a dent is an indentation, viene de indentation, right, on a car. So if somebody throws a baseball at your car, it's going to get a dent. It's going to be dented. Es un verbo regular. So if you put this word in plural, dense, what are you, dense? There are dents all over my car. Do those sound the same? In American English, they do. What are you, dense? Que no te enteras? Are you dense? You put dense all over my car. Those sound the same, even though, remember I said before, I said, suena como hay una T ahí suave. That's what it is, folks. So those two words sound the same, but not the word dance. That's like Anne. Think of the woman's name, Anne. Anne Frank likes to dance. And despite having a lot of problems, she was not dense. All right, my amigos, I hope you pronounce those words aloud with us because that's the only way to make sure you're saying them correctly, by saying them close to when I say them. All right, folks, I think it's time to go to one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. I'm talking about the movies. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the Show with No Name. But before we do Name That Movie, I've got to give you guys the answer to our spelling bee. So I imagine it didn't let you. I had no idea that Scottish cities and towns were, banned on YouTube. That's insane. I can't comprehend that. But I guess so, because I trust you guys got these words. But I guess you're not allowed to talk about Glasgow. We say Glasgow, but they say Glasgow. Glasgow. I guess tenemos que hacerles casos a ellos. The Scottish should know how to pronounce their own cities. So Glasgow. Glasgow, Americano. Glasgow, how they would pronounce it. Más como un go. And the population there, 600, here, aquí es donde me ponéis a prueba con el español. 632,350 inhabitants. En español, 632,350. Remember, no lleva punto entre eso, lleva coma. So es 632,350. The next one, as I said, is not Edinburgh, as I called it my whole life. Well, hey, Americans call it Edinburgh, but it's Edinburgh. Bra, colega. Bra. It's Edinburgh. And the population there is 506,520. Fijaos, después del 100 is 100 and 506,506,520. So 506,520. You want to check your answers with us. The third one is Aberdeen. Aberdeen. And the population there, 198,590. 198,590. So 198, no punto, 590. The fourth one, Dundee. And that's the population there. Reminds me of Crocodile Dundee, but no, it's got nothing to do with him. 148,210. 148,210. The fifth one is Paisley. It's a town. The first four are cities. The fifth one is a town. And again, these are all in Scotland. And the population in Paisley is 77,270. 77,270. Separado está 77 con coma, no con punto. And the last one, East Kilbride. That sounds crazy. Matar novia, Kilbride. Bueno, es con una L. East Kilbride, and the population there is 75,310. 75,310. So great job. You know what? I'm going to give you guys an applause, because I imagine you got it. I imagine you guys got it, and I still can't figure out why places in Scotland would be banned. Makes no sense to me at all. All right, what else do we have to do? What were we doing? We were doing, right, name that movie. All right, here we go, amigos. I'm going to give you the trailer, and if you know this movie, you'll know from the names that I say in the trailer, because I'm not going to leave them out today. No voy a omitirlos. Spending the summer at a Catskills resort with her family, Frances Baby Houseman falls in love with the camp's dance instructor, Johnny Castle. I love the names. Baby and Johnny Castle. I mean, hello. I haven't even seen the movie. Honestly, I haven't seen this movie. I mean, I know the famous scenes. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I don't know if that was a famous line in Spanish, but in English it was. And they're talking about the Catskill Mountains, very famous mountain range in New York City. And they were spending the summer at a Catskills resort with her family. Frances Baby's her nickname, Houseman, falls in love with the camp's dance, we know how to pronounce that, instructor, Johnny Castle. And there's another interesting one. We don't say castle, we say castle. O sea, en la otra palabra, en el homophones, pusimos una T donde no hay, right? Dense, dense. And in this one, we take out the T. So it's Castle. Castle, Johnny Castle. And folks, we've got a winner, and it seems like he had the time of his life. Kubla. And I never felt like this before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. Or what about Hungry Eyes? You got to know it from the soundtrack. It's Dirty Dancing. Okay, no. Did I just say that? I was just making sure you were paying attention. Dirty. Fíjate cuando lo ves como si esa I fuera una E. Dirty, or if you're British, dirty, Dirty Dancing, starring Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Aniston. No, Jennifer. Now I have to look it up. Jennifer. She was also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Jennifer Grey, claro. Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. This film that came out in 1987, besides being a classic now, a cult classic, this was the first film to sell 1 million copies on home video. This was VHS, VHS, okay? And Patrick Swayze wore a girdle. What is a girdle? A girdle is something your grandma would wear, okay? It's not sexy. Faja. Yeah. Okay. Can you imagine him now? Oh, no. It just ruined it for you. Well, he wore a girdle. Why did he wear a girdle? Because he wanted to channel the spirit of his grandma, who was a wonderful dancer. No, I'm joking. He wanted to look thinner and younger. So he figured the girdle would help him tuck in, meter, that tummy, esa tripa. And he was 35 years old. He was older than the role by 10 years, and he was only 8 years younger than Kelly Bishop, the one who played Baby's mother in the thing. So he had to look younger than he was cast. And they filmed on a tight schedule. This is a really good expression to know, collocation. A tight schedule, que no hay tiempo para perder. We're on a tight schedule, apretado, vamos apretados, right? And the word schedule, depending on if you're British or American, Americans say schedule, as you just heard me say it, and British say schedule. So filming began on September 5th in 1986, and it ended on October 19th. Listen to that. September 5th to October 19th. That's 1 month, 6 weeks, or 44 days of filming. However you slice it or dice it, pongas como lo pongas, it's a little over a month. And who said you need 2 years to make a big blockbuster? Look at that. I mean, this is probably one of the most popular movies ever. And then it was re-released in 1997. And this was due to the talk show host Conan O'Brien. That's how his announcer says his name. And he led a petition, okay, una petición, and he asked his viewers, sus espectadores, to send letters to the production company saying that they should re-release the film. They agreed. They said, we're going to re-release it. And then O'Brien Conan O'Brien, after they had re-released it and he went through all that trouble, he said, well, I'm not really a big fan of the movie. Which is kind of funny because of him, it got popular to another generation. It was released 10 years later, again in 1997. And now we see it. There are remakes of remakes now. But this was a re-release of the original movie. And only 10 years later, I guess Conan O'Brien had a lot of clout. Do you know this word? Clout is tirón. All right, let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen. This is Baby, the main character, the female lead. And she says, I told you I was telling the truth, Daddy. I told you I was telling the truth. We say tell the truth, right? So careful with this. True, verdadero, es adjetivo. Truth, la verdad, sustantivo. So we don't say me the truth or tell me the true. No, tell me the truth. I was telling the truth, Daddy. I'm sorry I lied to you. Okay, so in inglés, acuérdate, en español, you lie, mientes, no me mientas. We say in English, don't lie to me. Entonces, tenemos que emplear el to. I'm sorry I lied to you, but you lied too. Pero tú mentiste también. You told me everyone was alike. Tú me dijiste que todos éramos parecidos. And everyone deserved a fair break. And to deserve es merecer. A fair break es un trato justo, una oportunidad justa. But you meant, tú quisiste decir, you meant everyone who was like you. Todos que eran como tú. You told me dijiste a mí, you told me you wanted to change the world, cambiar el mundo. You told me you wanted to make it better. But you meant, pero quisiste decir, como ves, it's meant. What do you mean? I meant tal, quise decir tal. We use it a lot. Well, look at in this little monologue, they use it twice. But you meant everyone who was like you. You told me you wanted to change the world, make it better. But you meant, quisiste decir, by becoming a lawyer, abogada, or an economist, or marrying someone from Harvard, one of the best universities. I'm not proud of myself. No soy orgullosa de mí mismo. But I'm in this family too. Pero yo soy parte de esta familia también. And you can't keep giving me the silent treatment. The silent treatment es cuando haces el vacío a alguien, le ignoras. No me estás hablando. You're giving me, decimos el trato silencioso. You're giving me the silent treatment now? Estás enfadado. En vez de decírmelo, te lo callas. So there are a lot of things about me that aren't what you thought. You know, the typical, Daddy, you don't know me speech. But if you love me, si me quieres, de verdad, you have to love all the things about me. Todas las cosas de mí, ¿no? The ins and the outs. And then she says, and I love you, y te amo. And I'm sorry I let you down. Lo siento que te decepcioné. I'm sorry I let you down. We know this one from two different songs. Si no se te queda después de las dos canciones, no sé qué decirte. We've got the Chainsmokers, don't let me down. And then you've got the original, the Beatles, Don't Let Me Down. So don't let me down and listen to those songs. And this way you'll never forget how we say, no me decepciones. You can say, don't disappoint me, pero escucha, don't let me down, don't disappoint me. ¿Qué cuesta más decir? Don't let me down. Don't let me down. So she says, and I love you. And I'm sorry I let you down. Lo bueno del verbo let, ¿sabes qué es? Let. Ya está. Y el verbo set. Así se conjugan. Y put. Y hay varios así. So some words you don't even have to conjugate. Hey, you can't just use those verbs unfortunately, but they are pretty common ones. So she says, and I love you, and I'm sorry I let you down. I'm so sorry, Daddy, but you let me down too. Folks, we're going to our third commercial break. We'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Welcome back, folks. So much to do here on the show. I can't believe it, folks. Time is flying by as always. Don't forget, you got amazing shows all afternoon here on Vaughn Radio. Don't miss it, folks. Right after this show, you've got Test Your English with Ximena Holiday, followed by the Lunchtime Show. The Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. And then you've got Back to Basics with Tosh Pasqua. That's right, amigos. So many amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio, and they're all free. I think that's awesome. Free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff? I thought so. And you can subscribe to FYI for your English. Every week you got a brand spanking new episode. And this week we are taking a look at donuts. Delectable, delicious donuts. You guys know me. I freaking love donuts. I don't eat them daily. Thankfully, I'm able to control myself. I have a little willpower, un poco de fuerza de voluntad. But folks, let's rock and roll because you know how this works. We've got so much to do. So let's kick off the last part of the show with Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble, only on the show with no name. And I think you guys should be able to figure this one out. I didn't expect yesterday's to be so tough. Yeah, yesterday's was unexpectedly tough. Some days I'm like, oh, they're going to hate this one. And other days I'm like, esto está regalado. This is a giveaway, as we say. All right, well, we'll see today based on your participation. Remember, you have to use the same word twice. No me digas que no estabas intentando meterme mano. Eso es una excusa, una mala excusa. All right, so, no me digas que no estabas intentando meterme mano. Eso es una excusa. Una mala excusa, si tuviéramos que decirlo, okay? So, there you go, my amigos. You got to use the same word twice. And I don't think it's going to be too difficult, but I've been wrong before. Let me also give you guys the Say What soundbite for the fourth time.
Wait a second, I've got an idea. Is there something that I have in this office that I could hand to you and that would make you kind of forget that you're holding those little pink tickets there?
All right, folks, there you go. As I said, Kubla got it already. Hopefully, somebody else will be able to figure it out as well. Let's go on over to our chat room. Let's see. I see a lot of people participating, but I don't see anybody trying the double trouble yet. All right, well, let me give you guys a clue. You know I love giving you clues. There's a little clue for you. Hey, maybe it'll get you thinking in the right direction. That's my hope. So, no me digas que no estabas intentando meterme mano. Eso es una mala excusa. O sea, te he pillado. All right? A ver cómo lo traducen aquí. I would say una mala excusa. Eso es lavarse las manos. Escaquearse. Mala excusa. En México, vacilada. En España, escaqueo. All right? I'm trying to give you guys a little clue there in the background. All right. Going once, going twice. Are you kidding me? Don't tell me I'm going to stump people 2 days in a row. Wow, I'm just not used to it. No estoy acostumbrado. I'm used to you guys always figuring it out. I'm surprised that nobody knows this one. I'm going to give you another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Oh, man, I didn't think it was going to be this difficult. I guess it was. Okay, so no me digas que no estabas intentando meterme mano. Well, firstly, I was trying to give you guys the word cop by playing the police siren. And remember, we looked at that word the other day. It's not police, it's police or cop. Cop. It's cortito, cop. So there's the clue. That's the word we're going to double up on, the word cop. Okay? So don't tell me, no me digas, don't tell me you weren't trying to cop a feel. To cop a feel. It means to try and feel somebody, to try and touch them. Okay, did you just try and cop a feel? ¿Intentaste meterme mano, excuse me. So don't tell me you weren't trying to cop a feel. No digas, no me digas que no estabas intentando meterme mano. Eso es una mala excusa. No me lo creo. And that's a cop-out. A cop-out is the second word. So the word we're doubling up on here is the word cop. Okay, cop, which I could have made it a triple trouble. I could have said the cop tried to cop a feel, but it was a cop-out. So if somebody tells you that was a cop-out, man, it means that mala excusa, no? Chicana. I've never heard that. Do you guys use that one? Aquí me pone chicana. Well, it's funny. So your double trouble, as I said, I stumped everybody today. No me digas que no estabas intentando meterme mano. Eso es una mala excusa. Don't tell me you weren't trying to cop a feel. That's a cop-out. All right, folks, it's time to move on to You're Joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking. And I still remember, I have fond memories of having a joke book at my grandma's house. I had a joke book, and it was awesome. I think it was my mother's joke book and my uncle. So it was a hand-me-down. My grandma was the queen of hand-me-downs. What's the word? Heredar cosas, ¿no? Pasar cosas legar de generación a generación. So she was the queen. So I remember before I would go to bed at her house, she had a nightstand or a night table that was between my bed and my sister's bed. And in the drawer, there were some books. And I remember there were 2 joke books. And I just remember chuckling. I remember learning so much of my own language. So if you like humor, joke books are awesome. Another thing you can do, try and watch some stand-up comedians. It isn't easy to understand all stand-up comedians, but you can try. Give it a shot. See if you can understand some. My favorite is George Carlin, as many of you know. But he's a wordsmith. He was un genio de la palabra. A blacksmith es un herrero. So a wordsmith es un genio de la palabra. But check it out. What I would do this. And I also there's an FYI episode on comedy with my friend Dan. Listen to that and take a look at the recommendations we gave you. We give you some recommendations for some comics that you should check out, and also for some specific sketches. It's a great way to understand the humor of another country, for example. Think about that. If I know empanadillas de Móstoles, I'm in the club. Soy miembro del club. All right, so let's see if you get the jokes I've prepared for you today. What do you call dancing by the sink? What do you call dancing by the sink? And it's not dirty dancing. The sink is where you clean it. Well, it could make sense, dirty plates, but it's a little bit better than that, a little. So what do you call dancing by the sink? Easy. Tap dancing. Tap dancing. Tap dancing. No. Tap dancing. Well, tap dancing is claqué. Right? So do you want to tap dance? ¿Quieres hacer el claqué? Fred Astaire was a tap dancer. Gene Kelly was a tap dancer. Right? So what do you call dancing by the sink? Tap dancing. Well, tap is also grifo. And this is a really good one to know. I got to be honest, this was a really good one to know when you're in New York, because you can spend $12 on a bottle of water if you're up for that. You got that kind of money. Or you can ask for some tap water. Agua del grifo. You can get some tap water. So do you get it? What do you call dancing by the sink? Tap dancing. Also, to have a beer on tap, right? Si lo ponemos con la preposición on, tienes de barril, en grifo. Can I have a Budweiser on tap? All right, so good word there. Could be a triple trouble. Okay, how do you make a tissue dance? You say Kleenex, we say tissue. Kleenex, we know, it's the brand, right? So how do you make a tissue dance? Easy. You put a little boogie in it. No. You put a little boogie in it. No. How do you make a tissue dance? ¿Cómo haces que baile un Kleenex? You put a little boogie in it. All right, a boogie is another way to say a booger. Okay, a booger. What is a boogie or a booger? Well, it's the mocos from your nose that are hard. Okay, because if not, it's called snot, right? Snot. So boogers or boogies are mocos, duros. Snot, moco del líquido, ¿no? You have a runny nose, you have snot. If you have boogers, it means tienes algo duro ahí. Now, the British call them bogies. You've got a bogey. I believe you've got a little bogey, right? But we don't say bogey, we say boogie. But where's the joke there then? Well, also to boogie means to dance. How do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it. Le metes un poco de baile. Le metes un poco de moco. Okay. All right. Fine. Last one. What's the mystery writer's favorite dance? What is the mystery writer's favorite dance? Oh, easy. The twist. No, no. The mystery writer's favorite dance, the twist. You get it? Okay, well, a twist is a dance. Come on, baby. Let's do the twist. But also, a twist es un giro inesperado. A twist is something in a script, en un guión, or a book, or a novel that we don't expect. No lo esperamos, right? We don't know it's coming. The best movies, the best books, the best stories have a twist, a plot twist, you can call it, or just a twist. So do you get it now? What's the mystery writer's favorite dance? The twist. All right. I know you guys want to hang out and do jokes all day because you love my jokes, but it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays. Birthdays for me. Famous birthdays. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right. That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And we're going to take a look at some birthdays. I've given you a couple clues all throughout the show. So hopefully you were able to catch those clues. The first person was born in 1957. 1957. She's an American singer, songwriter. She's one of the singer-songwriters and founding members of the new wave rock band, the B-52s. I always use the B-52s to teach the expression, or not the expression, the verb to roam, right? Roam, deambular. If you're in roaming on your phone, estás deambulando. Roam if you want to, roam around the world. Y es un homófono para Roma. So if you remember, we're going to roam around Rome. You'll never, ever forget this. Okay, roam. And yeah, she's in the B-52s, and she's not Kate Pearson. So she's the other one, la otra. And they were really, really popular. I remember when I was in high school, they had a fun 70s kind of sound with their songs Rome, Rock Lobster, que es rarísimo, Rock Lobster, Party Out of Bounds. And if you're out of bounds, no estás en el terreno de juego. O sea, fiesta fuera del terreno de juego, right? And I think that's enough information about the first person. The second person was born in 1944, an American actress and dancer. She was known as the matriarch of Emily Gilmore. Now, I've never seen this show, Gilmore Girls, but she played Marjorie Houseman as well. And does that ring a bell? Well, that's the name we were saying today when we were talking about Dirty Dancing. She was the mom on Dirty Dancing. She's also been on Broadway. She won a Tony Award for Best Performance by a Featured Actress in a Musical for her work on A Chorus Line. And man, she's done so much. She was also in Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Wonder Boys. And she's been on TV shows as well. Law and Order, Murphy Brown, which was a very popular show. And coming up last, or as we always say, last but not least, this is an American comedian, actor, and singer who died last year. Okay, he died in 2022. And he was an American stand-up comedian and an actor. And he always had this exaggerated voice, like, what are you talking about? Are you people crazy, or what's wrong with you? So this kind of shrill voice, what? Shrill is the word that would describe his voice. Vamos a ver cómo lo traducen. Shrill, estridente, agudo, chillón. And, well, he's been in many, many movies. And I think, well, we got a winner already. So, folks, give it up for your classmate, Kubla. Excellent job, Kubla. Wonderful job. Awesome. And number one is Cynthia L. Wilson. Cynthia Wilson from the B-52s. Number two, when you put it in Spanish, I got to translate it. Kelly Bishop, right? Kelly Bishop is the second person. And the third one is Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried. And a lot of people know this guy's voice. He's been in a lot of movies. This is him in Beverly Hills Cop 2 with Eddie Murphy. And he goes, wait a second, I got an idea. Now, he's from Coney Island, from Brooklyn. Wait a second, I got an idea. Is there something that I have in this office that I could hand to you? Hay algo que tengo que puedo entregarte, that I can hand to you, that would make you kind of forget, algo como poco olvidarte, that you're holding those, que estás sujetando esos little pink tickets there. And these tickets, another use of the word ticket is multa. Estás multa. So this is from Beverly Hills Cop 2, and this is birthday boy Gilbert Gottfried.
Wait a second, I've got an idea. Is there something that I have in this office that I could hand to you and that would make you kind of forget that you're holding those little pink tickets there?
All right, folks, time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I sing the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name, and I can't believe it. 2 hours have flown by. Thank you to all of you. I know there was something weird today in the spelling bee. I had no idea talking about Scottish cities was off limits. Y ahí estamos con más vocabulario. Off limits. Prohibido. But I guess now we know, guys. No talking about Scottish cities on social media. It's a dangerous subject, folks. Well, you did a wonderful job, amigos, and we're going to end with our song here. This song is the B-52s, and the name of the song, I mentioned it before, is Party Out of Bounds. So if the ball was out of bounds, estaba fuera. Okay, no fuera de juego. Fuera de juego is offside. And so offside, fuera de juego. Fuera del campo is out of bounds. Okay, so the B-52s song Party Out of Bounds, they say, surprise party. Es una fiesta sorpresa. Yeah, we just thought we'd drop in. Pensábamos que haríamos una visita cortita. Where's your icebox? Your icebox, your cooler, donde mantienes las cosas frías. Hey, where's the punch? ¿Dónde está el ponche? And he goes, who's to blame when parties really get out of hand? ¿Quién tiene la culpa cuando las fiestas se nos van de las manos? And who's to blame when they get poorly planned? Cuando no se planifican adecuadamente. Thank you so much, amigos. You did a wonderful job today and every day. This show is a party, thanks to you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with tons more. Show with no name, all new songs, movies, and so much more, folks. Remember, we got Ximena Holiday up next with Test Your English. Ciao for now.